parties have engaged themselves in bickering, verbal wars and street protests for quite some time now, turning the national politics into a bitter spectacle. After a tough year of 2020, we have entered into a new year with a promising vaccine against a virus that gripped the whole world at its collar. With this hope, there is a serious call on top brass leaders and the parties set their priorities right and work for the countrymen. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. Lawmakers speaking at the winter session of the National Assembly flayed the Prime Minister, comparing his act of House dissolution with late King Mahendra's 1960 coup. The Dahal Nepal faction files a no-confidence motion against the leader of the parliamentary party, Satyanarayan Mandal. Process underway to remove Mandal on Sunday. US President Donald Trump suffers a stinging rebuke in the US Senate after Republicans joined Democrats to override a presidential veto for the first time in his tenure. And Manchester United move level on points with Premier League leaders Liverpool as the Bruno Fernandes penalty sees off stubborn Aston Villa 2-1. The National Assembly that convened yesterday has come down heavily upon Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. Lambasting the Prime Minister's move of dissolving the lower house, lawmakers drew comparison with the coup staged by late King Mahendra in 1960.
The lawmakers from the ruling and opposition party flayed the government move of dissolving the parliament, calling it as unconstitutional at the National Assembly that convened on Friday. Leaders from all the parties termed the Prime Minister's move as regressive. Even as the chairman of the National Assembly had requested the lawmakers not to discuss the agenda of the dissolution of the House, the lawmakers rejected the appeal. Dinanath Sharma, a leader of the NCP parliamentary party, said that the parliament had become a victim of a personal issue of the premier. Meanwhile, leaders from the main opposition, Nepali Congress, and other parties presented themselves aggressively as they said that federalism was never safe in the hands of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and that their skepticism had turned into reality. The main opposition lawmakers also urged the Prime Minister to withdraw the controversial ordinance on the Constitutional Council Act. The next meeting of the National Assembly has been slated for 7th of January next week.
The Dahal Nepal faction of the Nepal Communist Party has filed a no-confidence motion against the leader of the parliamentary party, Satyanarayan Mandal. With the effects of political turmoil at the centre being felt at the provinces, the Dahal Nepal faction registered the no-confidence motion against the parliamentary party leader, Mandal, who belongs to Oli camp. The Dahal faction had registered the no-confidence motion with 17 signatures 3 days ago in front of the deputy leader of the parliamentary party, Ram Kumar Yadav, but the move was only made public yesterday. NCP has a total of strength of 32 members at the Province 2 Assembly, with the Dahal Nepal faction claiming that 20 lawmakers are on their side. The faction is all geared up to remove Mandal on Sunday through the parliamentary party meeting. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has alleged Speaker Agni Sapkota of fabricating the timing of the no-confidence motion against him. Addressing the virtual gathering of Nepali migrant workers, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli said it was wrongly claimed that the no-confidence motion was registered against him at 10:30 in the morning, although it had only come around 3:15 p.m.
पार्लियामेन्ट्री पार्टीमा सभामुख जस्तो मर्यादित पोस्टबाट 3:30 बजे गएको प्रस्ताव गएको छ भने पनि संसद विघटन भइसकेपछि त्यसलाई वैधानिकता दिनका लागि 10:30 बजे नै भएको छ, 10:40 मै भएको छ, 10:50 मै भएको छ भनेर झुटो शनाखत सभामुख जस्तो मान्छेबाट यसको तिर्ते काम हुनु कहाँसम्म लज्जास्पद कुरा। उहाँहरू बहुमत छ आफूसँग भनेर कराइरहनु भएको छ सडकमा। बहुमत अल्पमत यसको टुङ्गो अहिले हुँदैन, चुनाव पछि हुन्छ। चुनाव पछि तपाईहरुले बहुमतको हो, अल्पमतको हो, प्रमुख पार्टीको हो, यो तपाईहरु हामीले देख्ने छौं र त्यो देखाउनका निम्ति पनि म साथीहरुलाई सक्रिय हुन पनि आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु।
Meanwhile, Speaker Agni Sapkota has said the criticisms he faced since the no-confidence motion was unnecessary and baseless. On 20th last December, a no-confidence motion was signed by 90 lawmakers and was registered at the Secretariat of the Federal Parliament. Speaker Sapkota's press advisor Sridhar Nyopani has issued a press note to clarify that the Speaker had been dragged into an unwanted controversy and that the only role of the Speaker was to issue a directive for the acceptance of the motion. The note further urges all to not fall for the controversy and recalls on a press release issued 3 days after the no-confidence motion. In our Public Voice segment, we asked the local residents in Bhutan why have political parties engaged in bickering at the time of the pandemic. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
जाल झेल षड्यन्त्र टिकडम एकले अर्कालाई कसरी हत्ताउन सकिन्छ कसरी माथि जान सकिन्छ भन्ने प्रकारको प्रवृत्ति छ यसको अन्त्य नहुनसम्म नि देश अस्थिरता अनिर्णयको बन्दी यो अवस्थामा अगाडि बढेको छ
कुर्ची तानातान पद ललुप्ता
सत्तामा गइसकेपछि सत्ता छोड्न नसक्ने उहाँहरुको आन्तरिक पनि ठूलो द्वन्द भएको र उहाँहरु एकरूपता नभएको हुनाले नै होला सायद यो कोरोना महामारीको लागि उहाँहरुले पनि त्यति राम्रोसँग ध्यान केन्द्रित नगरेको
तान्त्रिक संस्कारको अभ्यास गर्नमा दलहरुले आफूलाई त्यो तर्फ विकास गराउनु पर्छ भन्ने चाहिँ लाग्छ
कुर्चीको लोभ र मोह चाहिँ यहाँ देखिन्छ
राजनीतिक नेताहरु चाहिँ अलि अशिक्षित असक्षम भएको हुनाले नै यो हो
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, why have lecturers themselves not used the digital library at 3-1 University? Your options are A, no culture of study, B, complicated, and C, politics in priority. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the sports update. Women cricketers from Karnali province that participated in the ongoing Prime Minister Women National Championship have expressed their happiness to be a part of the tournament. Even as they were bowed out of the championship without a single win, the women cricketers from Karnali said that it was a massive experience.
It is not hidden from anybody that Karnali province lacks adequate cricket infrastructure. Due to its difficult geographical terrain and lack of resources, the players do not even have opportunity for proper training ahead of a national level tournament. Karnali province has therefore taken the formation of the women cricket team as an achievement. Karnali province played fearless cricket in the ongoing tournament as they had no fear of losing. They managed to make the presence of Karnali felt in the cricket map of the country. Despite bowing down of the championship ahead of the semi-final round, the women cricketers from Karnali, it can be said that, have not returned empty-handed. The onus has now fallen on the shoulders of the Cricket Authority to nurture cricket in Karnali, not just make their team an added number in the tournament, but also make them compete in the real sense.
Now, sports activities in the country had come to a standstill amid the coronavirus pandemic. With the effects of the pandemic receding in recent days, the sports authorities have urged all the sports bodies to resume their training-related activities. However, in the absence of adequate budget, the preparations have been greatly affected. Some sports such as cricket and football have returned to the field as a cricket tournament has been organized, while national footballers are preparing for some international matches. However, many other sports in the country have been reeling in the absence of budget. The table tennis and badminton associations, which have started their training for the players, have now complained of lack of resources to provide good diet to the players. National Sports Council, in the meantime, has halted the budget it had been providing under the dietary heading. The budget for good diet that started from the time of the former NSC member secretary Yuvraj Lama has been stopped from last year. When the sports activities were stalled due to pandemic, it did not make a difference. However, with the resumption of sports training, players are expecting that the sports governing body NSC will pipe out the required budget. Time now for our special segment, Media Watch.
4-member Chinese delegation, led by Vice Minister of the International Department of the Chinese Communist Party, Guo Yechao, arrived in Kathmandu on Sunday on a 4-day visit. The Chinese delegation held separate parleys with President Vidyadevi Bhandari and Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli on the day of arrival. During the visit, the Chinese delegation also held separate meetings with Executive Chairman of Nepal Communist Party, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Chairman Madhav Kumar Nepal, and Senior Leader Jhalanath Khanal of the same faction. The delegation also held talks with President of Main Opposition Nepali Congress, Sherbahadur Deoba, Speaker Agni Sapkota, Chairman of Janata Samajwadi Party, Baburam Bhattarai, among other leaders. It has been understood that the Chinese delegation focused on strategy to stabilize Nepalese politics. The visit of the Chinese authorities is viewed as significant amid the political crisis in the country following the dissolution of the House of Representatives. The dissolution of the lower house was endorsed by the President on 20th of December 2020 upon the recommendation of the Prime Minister. The Pushpa Kamal Dahal Madhav Kumar Nepal faction of the Nepal Communist Party removed Chief Minister of Province 1 Sherdan Rai from the post of Parliamentary Party leader on Thursday. The faction, which had already registered a no-confidence motion against Chief Minister Rai, who is from the KP Sharma Oli faction, appointed Bhim Acharya as the new Parliamentary Party leader. Likewise, the Dahal Nepal faction also replaced Chief Minister of Bagmati Province Dormani Paudel with Ashtalakshmi Shakya as the Parliamentary Party leader on Wednesday. Chief Minister Paudel had taken action against leader Salikram Jamakatel from the Dahal Nepal faction and whip Buddhiman Maji. The Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, CIAA, filed a graft case at the Special Court on Thursday against 4 officials and a contractor company in the case of the Teku Bridge fiasco. The graft case was filed against the then acting chief of the project, Bel Bahadur Nepali, account officers Narayan Bahadur Thapa, Syam Bahadur Khatri, Giri Prasad Shrestha, and operator of Pappu Construction, Sumit Roniar. Each of the 5 individuals have been slapped a fine of 10.47 million rupees. Pappu Construction and Chinese company JIC were given a contract for the construction of the Teku Bridge in 2014 to be completed within 2 years. However, the Department of Roads in July 2018 was forced to issue a public notice for the demolition of the bridge after it was revealed that the contractors had flouted the construction clauses. The case was then investigated by the corruption watchdog CIAA. This is Abhyudaya Shrestha for Media Watch and Kantipur News Desk.
That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.